All right, thanks for staying with us. On May the 25th, 6 boys were kidnapped from Lagos Model College in Igbonla-Ekpe. 26 days after, they are still in captivity. But the Nigerian police have vowed to bring all those involved in the abduction to book, promising that the boys will regain their freedom soon.
But how soon is soon? That's the million-dollar question. We've been staying on the story and following development. And joining us today via Skype from London to look at this is a public affairs analyst, Otumba Olabode Oseni. Many thanks for joining us today on TVC Breakfast. Far away in London, I guess.
Yeah, good morning for having me.
Good morning. Our children in Nigeria, are they becoming endangered species? This is not the first time students have been kidnapped. What can we do to change the trend?
Well, we need to go back to the drawing board. We need to reassess the security that's supposed to be attached to all the institutions. And I would like to talk not only about Igbonla, but also kidnapping in Nigeria altogether. It shows clearly the breakdown in the law and order, and it looks like the kidnapping is the second most lucrative business after legislators or politicians. It looks like people choose to daredevil, they can do, because they know they can work easily with security apparatus. Because it's, for me, it's unheard of. The last 26 years is an harrowing, is a very agonizing period for the parents of these boys. You put yourself in their shoes, or I look at it like one of them is my son. It is a very tough time for the parents. And like I said, it shows clearly how much premium we put into security of all our institutions. And this could happen anywhere. And as I can see, it happens virtually every day in Kaduna, in some other places. It's because these people take advantage of loose security. So we need to talk about security. We also need to talk about the people. You see, it's also shown clearly that the neighbors, our people that are supposed to be part of us, they don't care. And this is the truth. And not ordinarily, things like this happened 26 days ago. Where is the vigil? Where are the people protesting? Where are the people saying, no, this is not on. We are not going to accept this. Where are the now people coming out en masse to protest? Even go to Ekpe, go to that particular school and stay a vigil there. Where is it? It's not happening.
So many questions there, Otumba Olabode, but more questions for you. Now, the effectiveness of Operation Watse, that's meant to check, some kind of joint marine operation to check militancy around the riverine areas in Lagos. And of course, many people have been saying, look, maybe the way the security forces are going about it is not producing any results. What would you recommend going forward to actually bring about the rescue of these children as soon as possible?
Number one, I always believe in prevention. Prevention is the best medication you can take. Like I said, if the schools, whether be it primary up to tertiary level, is well fortified, well protected. Here in Europe, you cannot enter the classes here without going through some security check. So we need to have all this kind of thing. That's one. And most importantly, you cannot have an organized crime criminals that are well more equipped than the government one. You need to do a lot of funding. You cannot just organize a small boat for our own, for the government security people to run after the criminals who have money to buy a sophisticated equipment. These are the issues. So there should be a lot of funding. These people should be well funded.
But let me take you up on that very quickly, if I may. Looking at Lagos State, for example, yes, we are aware that Lagos State government has actually contributed a lot in ensuring better equipped police. And if I may even go back to the issue of Evans, the kidnap kingpin that was arrested recently, it's almost as if he endorsed the police, saying that, look, if the police in Nigeria could arrest him, then they can arrest anybody, that the police of today is not the police of yesterday. Those were his words.
Fantastic. Fair enough. He has said so many things. He has even in between become a pastor. He lectures. He's giving different kind of information. But the truth still remains. See how many years he deluded. He was elusive to the authority. But you see, when you talk of security, I'm not a security expert, but I can say to you for free that security is a business of everybody. But to be part of security apparatus, you also need to be well informed. People need to be educated. They also need to be, the structure needs to be there for my neighbor to know that if anything goes wrong, he can pick the phone to call whatever. But all these are little things that is lacking. There's no point in having a mobile phone. You cannot call the state. Yeah, I mean, you cannot call the security. You know, all these are little things. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the issue of ransom. The Lagos State government has said they would not pay ransom, and that's what people say. That's the standard all over the world. You don't pay ransom. But let's look at what happened between the Boko Haram in Nigeria and the Chibok girls. Some kind of ransom was paid. Some kind of negotiation was on the table for some of these girls to be released. What's so special about the Chibok girls? Why can't we do that for this same 6 boys that has been kidnapped 26 days ago?
Well, when you talk of ransom, when it comes to issue of kidnapping, anywhere in the whole world, like the authorities said, well, they will say that. But the truth of the matter is, behind the collision, behind the arraignment, there should be any form of help that will allow children like this to be freed. They will go for it. But openly, no government, and that is the truth, no government will acknowledge, say, well, we have to pay this and we have to pay that. And do not also forget, again, like I said at the earlier on, it depends on how much premium, how much do we put on our people, on ourselves. In America will ready to release 800 people for one person. Israel is ready to release so many people for one soldier. So what is going on? But you see, the truth of the matter is, when we say we are not doing this, we're not doing that, it depends on how much value do we put on our children. And these are children, these are the people that are going to replace us tomorrow. We are still not doing enough. I school at Ekpe, and I'm in the 60s. So the truth of is how much development has been brought to Ekpe. You understand, in terms of schools, in terms of education, the people and so on and so forth, their social welfare and all this kind of thing. These are the issues here.
Let me take you up on what you just said about the premium that we place on human life. Do you think that is what is playing out in every strata, every sector of society, that it is reflecting in everything we do, including governance? Is that what is at the root of the problem? Why 26 days on, these children have not been released, in spite of the fact that Nigeria is actually a signatory to the child rights law and the executive order on safeguarding and, of course, child protection?
Oh, you asked me a fantastic question. We need the whole day to discuss this. Of course, there's no value on human life in Nigeria. You tell me, where's the human value when a country cannot generate, cannot provide electricity for people? Some people around your area, you understand me, they have no life for 10 years. Some people are still going to hawk because their father, their mother have nothing to eat. All these are little basic things of life. If we put value on human life, there's certain things government, you don't need to ask them. They are just basic, standard things. Water, roads, education, housing, and so on and so forth. I was in Nigeria 2 years ago, and I saw a lot of things. And I come to your studio every day, and I know what I have to go through. These are not on. We do not put a value on human being in Nigeria. You go to the market, you go, you get hold of, you get so many things that are just not normal. And these are the things that government is supposed to look into. So for holding 26 days, for Christ's sake, for crying out loud, children, who knows what are these children going through? It is not only traumatic for them, it's going to be more traumatic for their parents. And for Christ's sake, like I said, government should do more to understand that these people and one individual, you understand me, should meet millions of things to governance. But we do not do that. We neglect virtually all areas of life in Nigeria, and this is sad.
Now, many people have said the issue with Nigeria is not the lack of laws, that we have laws, quite a lot of them. Ngozi mentioned the Child Rights Act, which is very much alive in Lagos State. Lagos is one of the states that domesticated that law. But that the issue is some of those laws are dead on arrival. Some of them are never implemented. How can we change that?
Well, again, education of the people. You see, because if you and I are not doing what we are doing now, we're in the process of this interview, appearance, and so on and so forth, educating the public. And this we cannot stop. We have to continue doing this. The truth of the matter is, any government, whether state or federal, can sign into anything. Implementation, like we said, may not mean anything to them, because the priority of an average politician in Nigeria is different from looking after their constituents. It is in Nigeria you find a senator or a legislator choosing to pay peanuts to few hooligans in his constituents and leaving millions of others. He prefers not to create jobs for his constituents. You understand me? Because he wants to keep more money in his pocket. All these are little things that matters. You understand me? Implementations are not supposed to be difficult. But if you want to implement something, you are given a brand new car, you are given all the manual, what you need to do about it, but you just continue driving and driving and driving. One day the car will just pack up. If we want to implement certain things that is international, it is not only saying when it happens. We also need to educate and help enhance and enrich the people, because all these things, we are talking of the people. We are the one. These people, this power is derived from us, and these people should also give the powers back to us. They should help us. They should support us. But millions of people are not supported. You go to hospital, there's no Medicare. People are being owed 18 months salary. Where's the help? Where's the society values? These are little things, but the commissioner, the governors.
Very mind-boggling issues you just raised there. Now let's even look at some of the things that have come up in the course of this, the abduction of these children. We've heard of selective bargaining between the kidnappers and the parents. Parents have been able to raise some amount only for the kidnappers to refuse and say, look, this is not the amount we want and all of that. And then again, they have the effrontery to actually say they want to negotiate with the state government. I wonder what you make of this.
Again, it shows how loose. Very, very unfortunate. Can you imagine an average amala seller or market woman trying to rescue their children, come up with a small amount of money, and where are the faces of these abductors we are talking about? Are they ghosts? We are now talking that they even have audacity to say that money is not enough. And it shows clearly that the power of these abductors or these kidnappers they are more powerful than the whole state. You understand me? Again, I have to say this. I'm not trying to be too reasonable. Cannot afford to listen to stories of children have been abducted the last 26 days. I must also quickly say, not that things like this doesn't happen in civilized countries. We have a situation in Austria where somebody chooses to abduct his own daughter, keep her there for years. But we are not. But there's still a structure that at least ordinary person is well taken care of. In Ekpe, I'm bold to say again, look at the school, look at the surroundings. Where the security that's supposed to be there? If we have this kind of thing, it is not too much to station police, an army, 24/7. It is not too much.
But how many policemen really can you station in how many schools in Lagos State? About 700 or so of them.
Hello.
As it stands today. Yes, you have a police force that's about 300,000 to that's 170 million Nigerians. How realistic is it?
It is realistic. Recruit more. Do not forget that we are talking about governance that is derived from the people. And when you now kill all the people, how are you going to govern? So you must at least do everything. And it's not necessarily have to be police present. You can create an environment. You can create a structure that at least that place is well security structured. You understand me? That will reduce. And you also have to prove to the abductors that at least they are not safe. That business of abducting or kidnapping is not safe. But it looks like they believe government only make noise. They don't do anything. And that's why they get away with their business. And that's why they believe they can take everybody to ransom. They can ask for millions of naira. And when they get the money, they can even still spend their loot. You know,
do you think the Lagos State Neighborhood Safety Watch is making any difference at all? 7,000 strong.
Fantastic. That's a good news. I'm very happy to hear that. But again, they cannot be strong if they are not properly funded. You need to fund them. You need to supply, you need to support them with different kind of apparatus, the different kind of stuff they need.
Olabode Oseni, right there in London, joining us via Skype.
Okay, let's just wrap up on the discussion on the neighborhood watch that Ngozi asked you earlier. These guys are there. A lot of money has been spent bringing them aboard. But what would you give in terms of scorecard?
Like another thing, I won't say government is not trying. What I'm saying is government should do more. And when you look at the resources that are available to be spent on the social structure, it's enormous. So what is keeping all the agencies, institutions not doing what they have to do? Just a short report from Luth. Again, like I said, I'm Nigerian, I live in Nigeria. We should not be talking of a problem of no facilities, 2017. So again, I think Lagos State is doing very well. And other states are also doing very well. But the truth of the matter is we cannot underfund any of our agencies or institutions because those are the nearest one to the people. You need to give them all the necessary tools. You need to give them all the necessary support. You need to make them to work free without issue of constraint that they have to be attached to a commissioner or a minister or all that kind of thing. In civilized countries, they are independent. Make them independent, get them to do what they have to do, and the result will be very fantastic.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Olabode Oseni, thank you so much for joining us on Skype from London, talking about all the myriad challenges facing Nigeria, of course. Thank you so much for joining us.
And thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.